Recently, within a span of almost 30 days, my company closed more in contracts than we had throughout the lifetime of the business. And we've been in business for almost 18 months. And the way that I actually did it is using something that I like to call endless flow. It's a very simple 3-step process. And honestly, it has changed my life. I wasn't always like this. Right now, I'm still working. I've been working since morning, and I only execute on the constraint of the business, the stuff that's actually stopping me from making money. And that's how I got to this point. And if you want this system, just make sure to watch the video all the way to the end. The science to what I like to call endless flow, which is just a state where you just keep leveraging the momentum to keep moving forward, where you can literally get tasks that take years done within weeks, is very simple. And it all starts off with elimination. Everybody's trying to add stuff. Everybody's trying to download a calendar. Everybody's trying to get an app. It all starts off with removing all the things that are not the thing. When you remove everything that is distracting you, you basically have nothing left to do except for work on the thing that matters to you most. Now, there's two main alternatives that you can actually use to elimination, which is delegation and automation. Delegation is when you give something to somebody else. Automation is essentially when you give something to a software, or you basically find like a system that can yield the same thing that you were doing automatically. When I'm speaking with entrepreneurs and we're talking about delegation, the main thing that we try to look at is the hourly wage. So this is what I personally did. I had a little sticky note that I pasted on my MacBook screen, which basically had my hourly wage on it. I went to ChatGPT, I put in my yearly income, got a fat Sharpie, put it on a sticky note, just stuck it there. Every time I was doing a task that I felt like was important, but wasn't worth the amount of money that I had attributed to the time that I was spending, my hourly wage, quote unquote, I would just give it to somebody else. So either finding a VA to do it, or again, automating it. But 99% of times, it's not even delegation or automation, because it's very hard to actually delegate and automate things. You just have to remove them cold turkey. Now, these are the three biggest buckets that actually deter people from getting to a point of achieving endless flow. The first thing is usually the phone, right? It's one of the most distracting devices. What you want to do with the phone is you want to eliminate. Now, there's an app called ClearSpace, which is the one that I personally use. I use it on both my phone and my laptop, which I'll get to. You can also make your phone grayscale. That's actually a very beneficial thing. And what you want to do is you want to just have one singular screen. Like, you don't want to have multiple different pages. You want to have one screen which has basically all your ideal apps, the apps that you frequent most often, and you want to literally eliminate every single app that you don't use. Another thing that can really deter you as well is notifications. So again, you want to block every single notification that distracts you from doing the one thing that matters most. Now, on the laptop, I would say this is arguably more important because most of us are either working on a desktop or a laptop. This can also be distracting. And again, usually when we're eliminating things, the principle that we're working with is that changing your environment is much more effective than changing your habits. Rather, changing your environment yields a change in your habits. So again, you can download ClearSpace on your laptop. Again, all the same things. If you have notifications on your laptop that distract you, or if there's like a certain game that you play, whatever it is, again, the principle there is elimination. The third type, which not a lot of people talk about, is work with quotations. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs, who are the people that I work with, usually pretend to work or work on things that don't actually move the needle forward for their business. And this is the deadliest type. And I'm about to show you how you actually eliminate that by leveraging the second principle of endless flow, which is prioritization. Now, prioritization is, as the word states, you picking which of the things to say yes to. So elimination is about no. Prioritization is about yes. Okay. And if you are a business owner, the principle that I actually ran through personally is I only said yes to 3 things. Okay. So there were 3 criterias for things that I actually said yes to. The first one was if something got me more customers. Okay. Now, there are many things that can get you more customers, but you want to pick one. Okay, Steve Jobs says that the definition of focus is the quality and the quantity of no's, right? So you want to make sure that the thing that you're prioritizing either gets you more customers, makes them worth more, or this is a little more complex, a little higher level, increases the enterprise value of the business. For most people, 99% of people, it's just going to be this. So you eliminate everything, then you prioritize it, and then there's a science to the execution. The way that you actually execute is very simple. You want to, first things first, break everything down. Okay, break down your one main thing, the one main basically client acquisition system, whether it's cold calling, cold email, or LinkedIn outreach. You want to break it down into inputs, right? So you want to have a numerical value associated with what, like how many reach outs you're going to be doing, right? You break it down and then you basically block time. Right? You basically block time just to do that. And when you have absolutely nothing else to do, when you have only one thing to do, and when you have a number associated with it, when you understand these three principles, the only thing that can really stop you from getting shit done is just doing nothing. But the way that you actually stop yourself from doing nothing is actually by understanding this right here. Basically, when you have a problem, if a problem is internal, it's not an external problem. So if it's an external problem, let's say your Wi-Fi is bad or whatever it is, you just want to change your environment. And if you cannot change it, then heck, you cannot change it. There's really not much you can do. If it's an internal problem, it's either going to be a skill problem, meaning you don't know what to do, a belief problem, you don't believe that something works, or a character trait problem. Now, a character trait is basically stuff like patience, stuff like perseverance, the ability to follow through. All these things basically are character traits. Then you have beliefs. Beliefs are basically, oh, this doesn't work, or no, I can't become a millionaire because I'm a particular skin color. And then the third thing is skills. You just don't have the skill to do what you need to do. The way that you solve for skills, for example, you don't know how to cold call, is you just do more. The other thing you can do is purchase a course, but I would actually change this. It's just consume information, because you can literally find most of this course info online. All you have to do is just do more of it. And I'm telling you, usually it's not even this, it's just the doing more part that actually gets you the skill that's required. Second thing is the belief. Now, when it comes to beliefs, the only real way, obviously I have this very tactical micro step here, but the only real way that you can actually break a belief, basically through experience. So for example, you see somebody who's exactly like you, who made like, $20 million or something, that is belief breaking. But if you want to remind yourself of a broken belief, you can just write it on a piece of paper and just put it on there. For example, if you've been doing Facebook ads, or if you've been cold calling people for a long time and it's just not working, and you start telling yourself, oh, cold calls don't work, but you've experienced literally a competitor in your same exact niche doing cold calls, actually making money, then just write down cold calls work on a sticky note, paste it to your screen, not your keyboard, but your screen. So you're always looking at it. It's actually taking real estate. And then you'll be reminded that it's a false belief that you have, which is actually stopping you from doing the work. And the last thing, which is the hardest thing to change, are character traits. Now, character traits are basically just many micro skills just in like a big bucket. So I like to call character traits basically meta skills. Stuff like being able to follow through, working, detail orientation, not procrastinating. All these things are meta skills. And the way that we actually change them is that basically the answer is accountability, right? And this is just something that all the top entrepreneurs in the space understand. Now, this involves a whole contractual structure, but this is really the highest leverage thing that you can do with yourself, for yourself. If you're interested in participating in one of these challenges, we're basically hosting what we're calling a free 6-week focus sprint. You can go to the link in the description down below. It's completely free for entrepreneurs only. We're going to be starting the next batch soon, so I recommend you reserve your spot now. But you can basically develop meta skills that can act as a multiplier. And usually it's meta skills that stop people from doing stuff. Even once they eliminate, once they prioritize, the struggle with the execution usually comes from stuff like procrastination, fear of failure, stuff like that. If you want to eliminate that, again, we're hosting the free 6-week focus challenge. It's going to be down below. If you don't want to attend it, that's all right as well. You can enjoy the rest of the videos on my channel, just like this one. It's a very good video. I don't know which one it is, but hopefully it's going to be. Just click on it. Trust me, just click on it.